Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to be discussed about the polymorphism in Java programming language. The word polymorphism literally means a state of having many shapes or the capacity to take on different forms. When applied to the object-oriented programming language like Java, it describes a language ability to process the objects of the various type of classes through a single uniform interface. Polymorphism in Java has two types. One is a compile time polymorphism, what we call it the static binding, and the runtime polymorphism is dynamic binding. Method overloading is an example of a static polymorphism, while method overriding is an example of dynamic polymorphism. Here I just gave you a little knowledge about ISA relationship. In OOP, ISA relationship is completely inheritance. That means that the child class is a type of the parent class. Like A has a relationship is dynamic runtime binding, while inheritance is a static compile time binding if you just want to reuse the code and you know that the two are not of the same kind. Use this composition like IS and A relationship. So now we just come to our on topic, which is the polymorphism. An important example of polymorphism is how a parent class refers to a child class object. In fact, any objects that satisfy more than one ISA relationship is polymorphic in nature. For instance, let's consider a class animal. Here I just write animal. We have the class which is the name of class animal, and we have the class means the subclass which is cat. So cat is the also animal and it is a subclass of animal. Okay, so any cat means I as animal. Here cat satisfy the I as a relationship for its own type as well as its superclass name is the animal here. The good reason for why polymorphism is needed in Java, because the concept is extensively used in implementing inheritance. It plays an important role in allowing objects having different interval structures to share the same external interface. Polymorphism is started clear by itself and one which mapped for many. On the other hand, we have the another definition of the polymorphism, which is the polymorphism is a capability of a method to do different things based on the object that it is acting upon. In other words, polymorphism allows you to define one interface and have the multiple implementations. Now, here we just see the example of the static polymorphism. So in Java, static polymorphism is achieved through method overloading. Method overloading means there are several methods present in a class having the same name but different types like order numbers of parameters. At compile time, Java knows which method to invoke by checking the method signature. So that is called compile time polymorphism or a static binding. The, the concept will be clear from the this example. Now we just create here like the polymorphism, and I just create the class which is static polymorphism. Okay, dot java. Here in this class I just write public integer add, and we have the parameter which is int x and int y. Now here I just write return x plus y. So it will give us the return which is x plus y. So this is our method number 1. Now here I just write public integer add, then int x, int y, and the integer z. This is our method number 2, and here I just need return, and the return is integer x plus y. Now here I just go to the method number 3. Sorry, it's not an integer x plus y here, so x plus y plus z here. Now here we have the method number 3, which is the integer add, and then int, and here I just define double. So double x and then integer y. So our method number 3 is return, and the return here is integer, and which is x plus y. Okay, now we just go to the method number 4, public integer add, and then integer x, and here I just take the double as a y, and now here I just write return x plus and then integer which is y. Okay, now I just make a class which is the name of test.java, and here I just define the main method which is public static void main, and then a string which is the arguments here, and then here I just write system dot out dot print line, and the print line is here I just write the name of the class, and the name of the class here is, so not here I just create static polymorphism, and then here I just write the class name which is static and new polymorphism. Okay, and now here I just write, so I just give it the static one. Okay, now here I just write static one dot add, and here I just give it the value to the parameter which is 2 and 3. So I just call the method number 1 here. Now I just copy this for the method number 2, 3, and 4. So in print, and here I just give it the value which is 5, and then here I just write 3.4, and then 2.6. 6 here. So I just call four methods here. So this is for our method number 3 because I just write it the double x here. So this is for our method number 3. Okay, so here I just run this code and okay, so you can see we have the addition of our first method, this one, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, and then 2 plus 3 plus 5 which is equal to 10, and then 2 plus 3.4, because it's a float value so it just take the 5 here, and then 2.6 and then 3, and it's take 5 as a value. So now we just see the example of dynamic polymorphism. Suppose a subclass overrides a particular method of a superclass. Let's say in this program we create an object of a subclass and assign it to the superclass reference. Now if we call the overridden method to the superclass reference, then the subclass version of a method will be called. So now here I just create a package which is poly here, and then in this I just define the class which is dynamic dot java. So we have the dynamic polymorphism, or I just remove this, delete this class, and here I just create the example for vehicle dot java. We have the package name which is poly and the class name which is vehicle. Here I just write public void and move. Then here I just write system dot out dot print line, and then vehicles can move. Okay, now here I just create a new class which is car dot java. Here I just extend this vehicle here, and it's a vehicle, and now here I just take it the output which is system dot out dot print line, and it's system dot out dot print, and the print is the line here, and then we have, I just write car can move and accelerate too. Okay, and here it's a string, and then here I just create a class which is a name of test.java. So I just copy this, and here I just write system dot out dot print, and the print is a line here, and yes, okay. it will give us the error because I just not declare a function. I just forget to declare the function here, or or a method. So now it's work good, and now just turn to the test class, and this is a colon here. And now in the test class I just define the main method. So public static and the void main, and then string arguments. And now here I just write the class name, means the super class name, which is vehicle, and here vh, which is equal to new car. And now here I just write vh dot move. So this will print the car can move and accelerate too. And then vh object dot new vehicle. So I just call this object, and then vh dot move method. So it will print the vehicle can move. Okay, and here, I just use is equal to sign because I just make a little mistake with the point. So I just run this code, and now you can see car can move and accelerate too. So I just call this object, which is method, which is move, and then it will print vehicle can move. So here the simple examples for dynamic and the static polymorphism in Java. Thanks for watching this lecture. See you in next